This is W0TM, also known as WOTM, W0TM. Just put that in Google and you'll see who I am. I've got about 18 minutes of talking to squeeze into 15 minutes. I'm going to talk fast. If you want a transcript of this, email me or send me a message. If you're a silver investor or speculator, you're going to hear things here you've never heard before that are very important. So let's get started. I'm going to be talking fast. This is an engineer's look at silver. A quick synopsis of my work background is necessary to set the stage for what I'm about to read. I recently retired from working as an electrical engineer. By the way, I'm reading from text that I blogged recently. I worked in many areas of engineering, including peer research, quality control, management, design, and sales. One thread ran through all of what I did, a concern and knowledge of the materials I worked with. In fact, early in my career, I worked for the Atomic Energy Commission, people who made the bombs, of which, due to the nature of the end product, nuclear weapons, price was no object. From peer research to design to final product, we used the very best, the optimum material in all we did. For metals, there was titanium and the like, but silver always carried the load in virtually all we did. Its properties, the low resistance, stability, and so forth were almost always at the top of the list of metals we had to choose from. Back then, silver was just a metal, not being expensive unless an end product was almost entirely silver and quite large. Except for a few spikes in price caused by market forces, not demand, the price of silver remained low until the 1990s. The price was still relatively low until not too many years ago. Why is that? There was still plenty of silver in the ground, even though no one seemed to notice that most of the total supply had been located and quantified. Switching hats for a moment to that of an investor, it became obvious to me in the late 1980s the world was running out of silver and might even run out in industrial use amounts, I mean like tons, in my lifetime. So I began buying silver as a long-term investment. My belief in the long-term shortage of silver is only now being recognized. For many years, industrial and jewelry uses of silver dropped in applications where other metals could be substituted without a noticeable difference in performance, industrial, or appearance, jewelry. Added to this was the huge drop in the need for silver in photography, as photography storage, except for the final print, which requires silver, was done digitally, and still is, and always will be from this day on. Well, the substitution of other metals has essentially reached the end of the line within the last 10 years. Today, in most applications where silver is used in industrial and jewelry both, it almost has to be silver. Not just silver, but pure silver. Well, this was going on. Industry, but now not just mostly electronics, had been discovering hundreds of new must-be silver applications every year. This extends from the car batteries powering the all-electric cars we're all supposed to be driving by 2020 to a chemical element in a spray mist applied to clothing that wicks away human perspiration. I bet you didn't know that. The sweater you're wearing may be wicking away sweat because it's got silver sprayed on it. The applications of silver seem to be endless. The speed of finding new applications continues to accelerate. Silver is an amazing metal. As a quick note of comparison, I am not aware of any application where gold is currently used that something else cannot be substituted for it. Gold is a relatively poor conductor of electricity, and some other metal beats gold in almost every application. So why is gold so expensive? The simple answer is it is considered a world store of wealth and is relatively rare. Rare? Did you know that there is now 5 times the amount of gold above ground or located and retrievable than silver? Why then, while the world slept, gold continued to be recycled at an almost 100% rate due to its value. The amount of gold kept climbing, while silver has been discarded. If it costs more than an ounce of silver to retrieve it from a used product of some type, why do it? 95% of the silver that existed in 1990 is now gone and forever lost in landfills worldwide. By rarity, silver should now be more expensive than gold. Could there be more silver if we just dug deeper? Mostly no. Silver tends to be near the surface of the earth. You'll have to talk to a geologist to find out why. While gold is often more plentiful, the deeper we dig. With the very large demand for silver in new applications such as silver panels, primary motion car batteries, silver is just now at the cusp where the use curve will become exponential in growth, but by the way, not so with gold. Few new applications are being found for gold, and those will be substituted with other metals as or if its price becomes higher. The price of gold is now purely speculative. The price of silver is rapidly changing from speculation to an industrial must-have metal where the demand is just now beginning to outstrip supply. We cannot make more silver. You don't make silver, it's mined. It's been said if we don't begin to recycle silver now, silver will become the first metal in the periodic table. Remember that from high school periodic tables? To become extinct. I guess is by the year 2020. I'm talking about industrial quantities, tons of silver. Some say, unlike gold, where new finds are occurring on a regular basis, most of the world's silver has been mined and already used or located to be mined at a later date. Remember, silver often appears near the surface and is relatively easy to extract. I'll leave the reasons why the price of silver has been kept so low to others, but it must be market manipulation. To me, nothing else makes sense. Industrial use of silver is now 53% of the market of silver. Its use in jewelry will continue to drop as its price continues to go up, but its drop won't even be noticed, as large users of industrial silver stockpile vast quantities of silver as they become aware of what you are hearing here for the first time, probably. Its price and its scarcity will skyrocket as a self-fulfilling prophecy. I refer you to an Exit article found at, and I'll put the email down below, or I'll put it here somewhere, or email me for it, or message me for it. It's on endomail.com for far more details than you'll find here. If the price of silver does climb significantly soon to bring forth 100% recycling, the world must step in and do something. It must begin to recycle silver. Silver is a must-have metal, and without it, technology of the future will be hindered to a great degree. Not only do I expect large users of silver, like electronics, to stockpile large quantities to last them for many years, I can visualize countries deciding the possession of silver to be an issue of national security. Perhaps several already do. I suspect China does. Just a guess, but I believe these entities, countries, so forth, distrust paper silver as much as I do. Paper silver is a piece of paper that says you hereby own this amount of silver that is stuck in a JP Morgan vault 6 stories underground in New York City, yada yada, so forth. I don't trust that. There is just so much smoke in that for there not to be some fire. Most of my relatively meager holdings in silver, almost all physical, in my possession. Well hidden, but in my possession. I expect fully all industrial, military, national security holders of silver and others will also possess only physical silver. Paper silver will continue to track physical in price, but barring sudden proof of a problem like, gee, we just opened the vault and the vault's empty, it will be continued to be confined to speculation, not stockpiling. We are at a crossroads in the world in the price of silver and gold. Gold not being an industrial metal and being recycled almost 100%, the world is safe from gold ever becoming extinct. We'll always have enough gold. Silver is another story. Just as important, a sudden explosion in its price would undermine the value of the dollar and most of the other currencies of the world. This could bring on economic problems of significant proportions, but not necessarily. If gold does not climb in proportion, the huge jump in the price of silver will not be attributed to the weakness of fiat currencies, a word meaning just money, paper money, coin, so forth, but instead the world's sudden recognition of all you're hearing here right now, probably, as I say, for the first time. Silver at $1,000 an ounce, $10,000 an ounce, whatever, does not have to usher in an economic storm, but just a realization of how rare and necessary silver is and always will be. I'll leave the financial and economic aspects at that. I'm writing as an
I'm reading as an electrical engineer, having followed and used silver for over 40 years and very cognizant of the pitfalls that are much closer than most people, industries, and governments realize. It could easily become as serious as some of the other shortages experts say we'll face in the future, like fresh water. Except I believe silver will be ahead of the other shortages and could become front page news within a year or two. The world would then say, with very good reason, where were the experts? Why didn't they warn us? Who is to blame for the price bearing no relationship to silver's true long-term must-have need by the world? Questions that will demand answers. Somebody should pay the price, but they probably won't. A company CEO of a large user of silver is not doing his or her job looking after the long-term future of their company if they are just not today buying all of the physical silver they can obtain. Yes, they might be saved by the discovery of a synthetic silver, such as industrial diamonds were developed, but alchemy has been the holy grail of science for thousands of years with nothing to show for it. The discovery of synthetic silver is not something I would bet my company on. Yes, you would tie up millions and billions of dollars in metal that just sits for many years, but do you want to pay $22 an ounce right now or $5,000 an ounce 20 years from now? Many companies believe they are protected by buying silver futures. That's a dangerous bet. The silver, the future contract, read the fine print, can just give you your money back, your currency back. They don't have to give you your silver. You're out of luck. Right now, most people think of silver as an investment and nothing further. That's short-term thinking. They're thinking, will it go to $25 an ounce or tumble to 10? Well, how about thinking big thoughts? How about instead, is this history-changing shortage due to manipulation, and what can be done to make optimum use of this dwindling, vital, natural resource, namely silver? This is Woדם signing off. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope you obtain some new information from this. Thank you very much.